Hey everybody, welcome to Nightlife Exchanges. It's Scott Barbarino here, and I can't do this without my associate, Mr. Tony Javits. So hey Tony, come on. There you
Hey
go.
Scott,
Here we go, Tony.
Here we-
It's July.
it's
We're in
July.
July in New York. We had a wonderful Pride month for the most part. Everything went really smooth.
Yeah, it was
Things
a
went
great Pride.
well. The 4th of July, I'm not 100% sure what we were celebrating this year, but we got through it. And
The
now,
idea of the thing. We were celebrating the idea of the thing.
yeah, we were celebrating the idea of the thing. And here we are in July. And you know what? There's still so many great things happening. And one of the things that I'm really looking forward to is today's interview
Me too.
with somebody he's very special. And I go back a long way with him. And, to the time when we had a lot of good yucks and a lot of good laughs, and none of it was recorded on video because we didn't have all that. I mean, you had to have one of those Betamax things going on. So anyway,
A little clunky.
let's let the audience see who's coming on to meet with us and have the interview by showing this thing this is on the TikTok that he's using to promote.
On the TikTok, huh?
Yeah. I like the TikToky. Yeah, I liked it.
Here you go.
Hey, it's me, Alec Mapa. Don't scroll past while I'm taking off my clothes. I'm going to be naked in a second. Listen, I'm just here to remind you that I am playing the East Coast with my new hour of stand-up. It is hilarious, edgy, vulgar, authentic, stupid, inappropriate, and it's a whole hour of queer joy, and I'm bringing it to the East Coast. I am playing the Berkshires at the Foundry, July 26th. The Cutting Room in New York, July 27th, and Provincetown at the Art House, the 28th, the 29th. The tickets are available now at spincycle.com or where you buy tickets to the Art House in Provincetown. The flyer with all the info will be shown right after this. I'm naked.
Where have you been all my life, babe? Boy, don't stop taking me higher than I've ever been, higher than the heavens is.
Alec Mapa. Hi, Alec. Alec, if you had showed that much skin back in the 80s,
I did.
I don't recall seeing that. I don't recall.
I did. I was at M Butterfly. I was naked
that's
8
true.
times a week on Broadway. Where were you?
That was like all the
legit. I mean, when you were out in the clubs and stuff, doing those things. Yes. Tell me, you know what? This is exciting. You're coming to the East Coast.
I'm so excited.
3 different places that you're hitting, so the audience has a chance to catch up with you. And I hope that people are going to make I'll be at the Cutting Room, so I hope.
I'm so excited and so grateful that you're going to be there at the Cutting Room.
Yeah.
Here's how it works. I'm an actor most of the time, and when things go south, as they often do, we had the writer's strike, we had pandemic, and then I was diagnosed with an extreme form of cancer, which I've since fully recovered from. But all those 3 things happened in a row. And so I did what queer people do when things go south is we make terrible things funny. Our superpower as queer people is to make each other laugh, hold each other up,
Right.
when it's a shit show. And I saw it happen in the 80s when we were all sick. I started doing comedy in the 80s at Don't Tell Mama and the Duplex because our whole community is kind of a similar feeling now. We felt so bewildered and so attacked and so targeted during the AIDS era. See, kids, once upon a time, there was this thing called AIDS and you needed condoms. I mean, that's really like how I feel right now. And what it did to art in New York and comedy in New York is we all banded together in this tight ball and we entertained each other with the best comedy, performance art, theater. Our response to crisis was art, so we could understand it, so we could process it, so we could grieve, so that we could laugh. I remember at a time, and I'm not comparing my show to the art of the 80s, but it's coming from that same place. I mean, I'm not going to go in, I'm not going to do Into the Woods or
Oh, wouldn't you? Couldn't you?
No, don't you remember in the 80s there was a certain point where every single show was a metaphor for AIDS, or it was
Oh, yeah.
about AIDS.
Yes.
We had Normal Heart, we had
Mhm.
Into the Woods, we had Prelude to a Kiss, which
Yes.
was about a newlywed couple, and then all of a sudden one of them turns into an old man, and then they have to find out whether or not they still love each other. We had Marvin's Room, which
Mhm.
was about taking care of, but they were all kind of translated into these heterosexual paradigms that were
Mhm.
just mirroring our own lives. And I know this is only a 15-minute interview, but in this time, I feel like our strongest political response as queer people, as people of color, is to respond to this moment with queer joy.
Mhm.
We laugh the
Right.
hardest when things are terrible. We laugh the hardest. We become the most creative when about terrible things. And if you don't believe me, there are 3 Broadway musicals that feature Nazis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The classics.
You know, the thing is too, Alec, we laughed during the 80s when it was
It's-
all happening. We would be in wherever we were at doing our jobs and our work, and we would get together in spaces that were common spaces like the duplex, like Don't Tell Mama. And there was a lot of things, you would go into the duplex one day and your friend would be there, and then you would go back the next day. Whatever happened to Kurt? And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, Kurt's not, Kurt went to the
Or
hospital.
you would not see
And we
Kurt for
kept
6
rolling.
weeks.
Yeah.
Or you wouldn't see Kurt for 6 weeks, and then you'd see Kurt again,
Yeah.
and then Kurt would be dying.
And we
And-
found the joy, and we found the survival, what we needed to do. And absolutely, we are in that moment in time again. And I want to thank you for bringing your humor and your energy and all of that to the audiences here in New York.
Right.
That we're like I said, I'm looking forward to it because we sure could use. We really do need
Well,
a good
listen,
laugh nowadays.
Here's the point. If we've forgotten how powerful we are, how powerful our queer joy is. I was visiting. I was in New York City last year, and I went to see my friend Cole in O'Mary, and
Mhm.
and I was, I like to think analytically. Why is this show so successful? And I think it's because in the most chaotic time in New York City, when we're all freaked out, when we're all tense, for that 90 minutes, you were taken away from it, and you left on cloud 9. And I'm saying that if I can get through COVID, a year of a writer's strike, being diagnosed with cancer, type 2 diabetes,
Right.
star in a pilot with Alec Baldwin and Kelsey Grammer, only to have it immediately canceled, and I can survive that, laughing my ass off, you can get through your day. You can get through this day. All right? I dealt with some really shitty shit, and I got through it because I have people who love me and people I care about. My queer community, again, came to the rescue. There was a time where I was recovering where I just, I'd never had abdominal surgery before. And it requires exercise in terms of recovery, in terms of just walking.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm a Cancer. I'm an introvert. So if I'm feeling like shit, I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to pretend. I don't want to be on. And my friend Jackie B would call me and say, meet me for lunch, you bitch. And I'd say, okay. And I'd have to walk in my neighborhood to the ramen place. But she did that to get me out.
Yeah.
She did that to get me because she knew that I would 2 blocks, and she knew that the social engagement and how rotted she is would make me laugh my head off. Do you know what I mean?
No,
and I'm
no,
saying,
there are
and I'm
certain people. Listen, certain people serve like a tonic. you take them and you're like, oh wow, I feel better.
Exactly. And
Like a gin and tonic.
it's exactly, and it's kind of like it was so and I love this because it's so antithetical to her stage persona, which is she builds herself as the world's biggest bitch, but she couldn't have been more kind and more almost kind of strict with me, like get up. And then Calpurnia Adams, the trans activist who's just amazing, would walk me up and down the street like I was Estelle Getty coming back from Shady Pines. All these people, like, you know, and my self-loathing, because we all have a little bit left over from our queer childhoods, was really, the voices in my head were saying nobody really cares. It's kind of like, I'm disappeared now. I'm sick, so I'm not. When you're sick, you're not part of the human equation anymore. You're kind of taken out. And the opposite happened to me. Everybody showed up for me, and that's what really got me better. And this show that I'm doing is a tribute and a thank you to the queer community of New York City, because that's where I learned that ethos because we went through a war and we're going through one again. We went through an ideological war in the 80s where the government showed their ass. They said, we don't care about you. And we're kind of glad that you're dying.
Yeah.
And that is absolutely the truth. And I don't think that piece of history is really, I don't think all of the younger people understand exactly what was happening.
But I think the younger people of today, this is their chance.
Yeah.
It is.
This is their chance to kind of
raise it.
Use the technology, use your voices to amplify your voices. If we could mobilize we mobilized all those ACT UP demonstrations. We mobilized Equity Fights AIDS, Broadway Cares with no phones and no internet. It was just dressers and costume designers and everybody getting together on the phone.
Yeah.
We have so much power as a community. And I always describe the queer community as we're a part of nature. All right. And if you fight, and nature is always playing the long game. If you fight nature as man, you're going to lose. You put nature against a hurricane, a tornado, an earthquake, a typhoon, you're gone. And what queer people are is and since we're a part of nature, we're never going away. You can legislate against us. You can sign whatever stupid law. You can pour concrete over our community. And that one blade of grass is always going to come up, always going to pop through the concrete. That one flower is always going to bloom, color in a vacant parking lot. And that's us. We will thrive in the most hostile circumstances.
Pansies will not be denied.
We will not be denied. And it's because we are the most resourceful community, connected community, and we never let anything go.
No, we don't. No, we don't. Listen, for all of the folks that know you from the past, for all the folks that know you from the past, you guys that are out there that remember Alec from
anybody remember me?
Yeah, they do. It's time to get your shit together and go to the cutting room. Let's go see Alec again. And for you guys that don't know who Alec Mapa is, Alec, give me a brief synopsis tell me about when you came to New York, the shows that you did. For the younger people that don't know who you are, I want them to know who they're coming to see.
Hello,
you're not just anybody.
Hello, young folk. Let me tell you about the old days. Back in New York City. Okay, I came to New York at 18 when I went to NYU, and we were all the misfits in my freshman class. We were all weirdos that nobody knew what to do with us. It was me, Molly Shannon, Adam Sandler, Kristen Johnston, Kristen Johnson was like 7 feet tall, and she goes, "I had a head like a pot roast. What play am I going to do?" And so what we did was we all did our own shows. We did stand up, and then because I couldn't get cast in anything at NYU. This is days before the DEI, so they were doing a tribute to the group theater in the 1930s, and they decided to be historically accurate and only cast white people. So that left me doing stand-up at Don't Tell Mama and the Duplex and Molly and Adam. We were all over the place. And then when I graduated from NYU, I auditioned for a Broadway play named M. Butterfly, and it was about a French diplomat who falls in love with a Chinese opera star. They have a love affair for 20 years. He discovers he was a man. And I remember reading the script for the first time and going, what's the big deal? I'm from San Francisco. This kind of thing happens on the bus. But it turned out to be this huge Tony Award-winning hit. It ran on Broadway for 2 years. I went on the tour. I came to LA. I thought, I'm going to be like Kristen. I'm going to be in a Broadway show that everybody sees. And then I'm going to get a television series. And then I didn't work for 3 years. And then because they didn't know what to do with a gay Filipino faggot back in 1992. And so I started doing stand-up. And then when I started doing stand-up, I attracted all the writers and people who do sitcoms. And that's what started my sitcom career.
Right.
And then I got Half and Half on UPN. And then I got Ugly Betty, Desperate Housewives, Seinfeld, Roseanne. I mean, the 90s, I did every single sitcom I could get my face into. And then I'm here. And then so now stand-up has become like my default, so that I'm always working. I think that every single actor in New York should, one, be a writer, write yourself stuff, and also do stand up just to see how terrifying it is.
We poked
roller coasters
around.
be damned. That's a thrill ride, I'm sure.
We poked around looking for photos from the 80s and the 90s. We couldn't, but we do have this one that I think says it all. It's brilliant. I love it. Tony, you have that?
From the 80s.
Now there you are.
I got my first television show, and Michael Childers. This was a magazine called Genre, which no longer exists. And Michael Childers was this famous celebrity photographer. He's amazing. And we were just taking these stupid things, and there was somebody had a fur coat, and Michael said, "You've got the body. Take off your clothes." And I'm not this girl, I'm a leading lady. You don't. I mean, I'm a comic. You don't need to do leading lady dialogue for me. But he did this, and so now it's it just exists for historic purposes.
I have it. I love it. I'm so glad I saw it.
Gorgeous.
Hey, so let's do the put up the.
Who needs clothes?
No.
You do seem to have a problem with clothes. You're taking them off in your TikTok. You're taking them off on magazines. No clothes.
I've never been that girl. But
except everything we've shown today.
Except everything that was shown today. I am okay. Listen quickly. In the 3rd grade, I wore glasses, corrective shoes, and a retainer all at the same time. So I will always be that girl internally.
I hear it. I know it.
You were you know what though, Alec, you really, every time that you would come into the clubs or you'd be out working, whatever, and you would stop through, because I was a waiter working in one.
I remember, Scott.
It was always the whole room always elevated to another level of just, it was always joyous. And
thanks.
That's the full memory, the real memory that I have of the stuff that you did. And I know that's going to happen at the cutting room. So listen,
we're going to vibrate.
Unfortunately, the younger generation that we were just speaking about, they do have shorter attention spans. I get it. There's lots to do. There is
lots to do. And here's the thing, young people. I'm with you. I have all the same concerns. My son is 20 years old. So I'm real keyed into what the kids are thinking about.
I am too.
I know all about the TikTok.
Yeah, I am too. I have about 85 of them running around at all times
True.
at Ellen Stardust. So,
But here's the thing: they have anxieties that our generation didn't have, and it's not their fault. The thing about the phone is, it is when you have a phone in your hand, everything's immediate. Everything's immediate. You get your questions answered right away. You see what you want right away. And life isn't like that. Life is suffering. Life is waiting in line. Life is tolerating the present moment. And if you can't, and it takes a lot of radical acceptance to do that. Kind of like, well, my subway ride from Park Slope to Midtown is 45 minutes no matter what. I don't have a phone. What am I going to do? I'm going to read my book. I'm going to do my New York Times crossword puzzle. I'm going to get some work done. But we weren't constantly stimulated. And if we were stimulated, the stimulation was coming from inside the house, right? It wasn't this external thing. So what I'm saying is young people without the phones, and I can say this because my son is 20, they have more anxiety because they have to tolerate the suffering that is life. I got to wait in a line. I have to wait my turn. I have to, or even just sit quietly in the present moment. And what theater does is, and what art does, and comedy is, and especially in New York, which I love New York, is it forces you to be in the present moment. You want to be present when Audra is having a nervous breakdown. I'm not looking at my phone. I want to be present when there's a life-changing moment in the theater, when when the robots fall in love and maybe happy ending.
Yes.
I don't want to be holding up a phone. I want to be, and I think that
be ready for that big feel.
Right. And I think the generation in New York City, particularly in New York City, the younger generation in New York City kind of gets that on a meta level. Creative people get that on a meta level, because all of us now in the creative community have some sort of spiritual practice where they're just like, I have to sit still for 5 minutes. I'm ready to go on forever for whatever, or even during a rehearsal, if you have to step out, I need 5 minutes just to not think of shit, not look at a phone. And I think this generation is kind of discovering that on a meta level on its own. And I think we all are too, because I can only watch the news or read the news for 5 minutes before wanting to give myself an aneurysm. It's too much. So laughing your ass off, laughing at something inappropriate, laughing at our leaders, laughing at politicians, laughing at how stupid what we're going through and unnecessary what we're going through right now, laughing at all of it is the most empowering thing we can do right now.
And there we go. And that's where we're going to end this interview. We're going to say, to do that, every one of us, to do that, be at the cutting room.
Yeah.
Be Alec Mapa, because
great way to do it.
Yeah. I tell a lot of fart stories too, which are always really funny. Yeah.
Who doesn't love a good fart story?
I tell one really good shart story. You all know what a shart is.
A shart story. Oh, that is next level.
When a fart picks up a hitchhiker on the way out.
There you go.
I tell several things of that ilk. It's silly, it's uplifting, and I love the audiences in New York. I love the collaboration of the energy we create in the room. I've never played the cutting room before. And
you're gonna like the space. It's a beautiful space.
And I just can't wait to see. I also love being back in New York because I become a New Yorker again. I walk like a New Yorker. I think like a New Yorker. And this is the comedy tour of a special that I'm working on. And whenever I'm in development, I always start in New York City because that's the audience that tells me what is the most honest. You wanna perform, you wanna try out material in front of an audience that's smarter than you or as smart as you.
Yeah.
Just wise.
If for nothing, we are very honest.
Yeah.
Alec,
It does.
thank you.
It doesn't always work out that way.
No, they'll let
Thank
you
you so
know.
much for joining us today. And
Thank
I'm looking
you.
forward to seeing you on the 27th.
I love you guys. I'll
All
see
right.
you all on the 27th. I will.
Such a
I
pleasure.
will pose for every selfie. There'll be prizes and gifts, and maybe I'll even give away a free set of dishes, like at the gas station. Used to.
That's very OG.
Ooh.
That's
Yeah,
very
well,
OG.
Now
Alec.
I really showed my age.
But you
And
just got to
on
come
that
back
note-
to get the whole set. Just give one piece at a time. Got to keep them coming back.
I thought he just turned 60. He sounds like he's 90.
Yeah. You're looking good.
I'm
No,
not
you're looking good, buddy. All right, Tony,
Indeed.
are you
Yes.
coming with me?
Yeah.
All right, good. We're making.
Oh, Tony, that was like such a
reservations.
non-committal. Yeah, that was like,
No,
yeah.
'cause
No,
we had already talked about it before, Alec. He's coming.
I don't know. It's a
We have-
gilded age night.
We have tickets already.
I gotta find out what Gary
hey,
Goon is
Alex,
saying.
I had my finger on a button, and I was ready on that button, so he caught me unawares.
Anyway, everybody,
That's what
listen,
that was,
everybody.
confusion.
Till next time, this is Nightlife Exchanges, and we're thrilled that you were with us. Have a good
Truly.
night.
I love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.